Okay, well, here we are again. CROWNCAST.
Yo.
Hey, yo.
We're so far into this that we don't even have to say the episode anymore.
Yeah, because I don't know.
Yeah, it's somewhere.
Yep, well, huge, amazing reviews, so we're killing it. Mr. Beast, watch yourself. We're on our way. But what's going on?
You know, another week in the life of Crown Design Integration World.
Yeah, what's going on this week?
This week we've been at a couple of different jobs actually, but one kind of locally down in Sarasota.
Yep.
We have a building that's been under construction for a pretty good amount of time. Mm-hmm. Was delayed a bunch, but moving along, and we're finally in there, which means it's getting close,
right?
You know, to finished. And we have this week, and then we have next week to complete it, and they're launching this new auditorium. So We've got a lot of work to do, but we were able to do a bunch during construction.
Yep.
A lot of the cable pulls, it's all the stuff that you don't ever see. Mm-hmm. It's already done. So we're in there doing, the cool stuff now.
Right.
And yeah, the guys are there pretty much full time right now to knock it out.
Right.
So.
Yeah, it'll be a cool little room. It's nothing crazy elaborate, just a good size room.
Yep.
It's a great upgrade for them from where they're
huge
at now.
upgrade from where they are now.
They're in kind of like a half gym, half sanctuary type dealy.
Yep.
It's not the coolest, but they've done well with it.
They've been there a long time, and I mean, we did a project with them a very long time ago and replaced like their audio console and stuff like that. We've done a couple of little things there, and their kids building.
Yeah, their kids building was actually cool.
Yeah,
big slide. We should do that sometime.
That's right. Yeah.
Let us know in the comments if you'd like us to do a full.
I think we should do a kids episode. Hit a bunch of the kids rooms, because we've done a bunch of kids rooms, and some of them are pretty crazy and cool.
Right.
So that'd be fun.
Yeah, that one was actually very creative.
Yeah,
that we did. And the other ones we've done are pretty cool too.
Yeah, that one had the slide. The whole issue with the slide is that one was nuts.
Oh right, yeah. But slides never just happen. Slides are like,
let's put a slide in a room. It'll be awesome.
Yeah.
Permitting and government involved, and now the slide is a major ordeal.
We've seen it everywhere.
Yeah.
Remember Bayside? They had the slides, and then they had that little door at the bottom.
Right.
If you went down there, you hit the door, you had to open it up. Yeah, we should do that, and then we should have your brother on.
Yeah.
So like the
doik, kids pastor extraordinaire.
Right.
Come in and talk about kid stuff. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, let's do it.
But yeah, that's where we're at this week. We'll be there next week too, preparing for this launch, getting ready. We only have a couple weeks to do this whole thing put together, Yeah. Because they are, not to get too into it, but they're moving out of that gym we were talking about. They're moving a bunch of that equipment over to the new room.
Right.
So they're not getting a whole brand new system. They are getting a new PA and some new stuff. So they need a lot of that stuff in their room right now to continue to operate this weekend at a service in their old room. Right. So we left them like some slim pickings.
X32, S16.
Some wired mics.
3 XLRs.
Yeah, a couple lights we left on the bar. That's it for them to have a service in that old room one more time. And then give us enough time to like make this new room happen. So
Luke said like, "Hey, can we get like click track?" And then Luke's like, "I don't know, man. I don't know. We might need
XLR. That's
we need it over there." But yeah, it'll be cool. We'll do a podcast on that too.
Yeah,
show it off. We'll probably tune next week, so it should be good.
Next week will be like commissioning, tuning, rehearsals, all that.
Right.
So, yeah. Couple crazy weeks here.
So we got that going on right now. A bunch of other projects we're kind of working on, prepping. Got some campuses that we're going to be doing this year.
Yep.
We got some mobile campuses we'll be doing.
Yep.
What else?
We got the studio project that's coming up. We've been designing.
Which one? Why my brain?
Radio.
Huh?
Radio.
What? What? Oh yeah. Don't say anything. Okay. Yes. Yeah. All right. I'm back with it. Oh yeah, that one. The studio.
Yeah. Just a quick announcement. Radio is not dead, people. We've found out. So
it is alive and well.
I guess so. People are still listening to the radio.
Yep. I'm more of a podcast guy myself. I drive around listening to CROWNCAST all day.
I think most people do.
I think most people do too, according to our 53 followers.
Yeah.
Or 49, I think I saw it.
Yeah, we have Infocom's coming up.
Infocom's coming up.
Which is like a big crazy show of like, you're talking the biggest giant civic center type warehouse type building.
Right.
Where I don't know how big they are, but they are, you could walk in them for days.
Vegas has the biggest ones.
Yeah. So,
sure.
And you go to this show and every single thing of audio, video, lighting, technology stuff is all there. Every manufacturer from around the entire world, not just the U.S. It's a global event, happens once a year, sometimes in Vegas, sometimes in Florida, in Orlando.
Right.
But it's in Vegas this year. And you just go there and you walk for days through the aisles of all these booths, and every manufacturer in the world is there. People you never heard of are there. New technology is there. You go there and schmooze and eat lunch and see new stuff. And
we go there to be schmoozed.
We used to go there to schmooze, to try to become dealers and get set up with their company.
When we're new.
The tables have turned.
Yeah.
And now we are schmoozed.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that's coming up in a couple weeks.
Yep.
We're going to do a podcast. You can take a bunch of video while you're there, and
we'll go over
show the show.
Yeah, any new equipment, any cool stuff I see, I'll bring it back and we'll take a look at it. But yeah, it's a ton of walking. It's a whole thing in itself.
It's an odd. I feel like they could do like a documentary on it or something.
I'm gonna find some pictures of us going years ago. Remember when we went years ago and dressed up like the standard tech guy?
The standard tech guy.
Yeah. So we'll show you guys that.
Swag. There's swag. Everybody has swag. Everyone's pushing things in your face to take.
Too much swag.
Yeah. It used to be fun to get it. Now we try to avoid.
Yeah. It's baller status to deny the swag.
Yeah, deny the swag. Don't make eye contact. Don't make eye contact.
Right. Try and stay away from the Chinese only LED walls, because they will hound. I still get emails.
Yeah.
On
Weekly.
My birthday, Christmas, Easter.
It's true.
By an LED company, some person in China that I've met that one time for about 5 seconds on the floor, and I still get an email every single
We've
month.
never bought a single thing from them.
Never bought a
Never
single
even
thing.
contacted them, and they just still hammer it.
I'm still on their list. They'll send us cookies. It's wild.
We get Christmas stuff from them.
China's eating our lunch. America, we got to pull it together here. I should be getting 1 million more emails from more Americans and people that can't even speak our language. That's just the truth.
You see it at Infocom too. The amount of Chinese companies that are there.
I've got it.
Some of them literally don't speak English there.
Literally.
And you just try to figure it out with Google Translate or whatever.
And they're making sales. Good for them.
Killing it.
Good for them. We'll talk more about it.
Yeah.
We'll do on the Infocom episode. We'll get deep into it.
Yeah, it's an experience.
Right. So today we're going to go over. It's a little bit of a blast from the past.
Yeah.
Just random. This one. So just for all of our viewers, I'm in the process of trying to get some really good video and pictures of some of these really big, kind of really cool projects that we've done. I've got pictures and stuff. I just want to I want to be able to present it nicely.
Yeah.
And so we're kind of holding off on some of these bigger ones just so that I can get some cool video and pics. So today is just kind of a random one, but we found, one of our early projects, which was awesome.
Yeah.
And it turned out great, and we can get into it here in a second.
Yep.
But we're going to be going over Inspiration Academy, Updog Studios, post-production studio.
Yep.
So we built a post-production control room, audio, video editing room. It's a 7.2 surround sound editing suite.
Yep.
And it was awesome. So we're going to get into that here in a minute. But before that, like and subscribe. Tell all your friends. Tell your mom. Tell your kids. Whatever that meme is.
Hide your kids. Hide your wife.
Oh, hide your mom. Hide your wife. Don't hide from Crown Care. Enjoy us. Like and subscribe. And let's jump into a word from our sponsor.
Our beautiful sponsor.
Crown Care, coming your way.
AVL systems are great when they work and a nightmare when they don't. Well, we've come up with a solution for when they don't. Crown Care is our subscription-based service program where you get 24/7 support 24/7 critical system monitoring, and a host of other goodies. If you're interested in Crown Care, please give us a call or contact us through our website.
All right, and we're back. Thank you so much, Crown Care.
Once again,
Save the day once again.
Faithful sponsor.
We were chatting with one of our clients this week because they were kind of reviewing their budgets for the next year, and they were looking at Crown Care, so they wanted to kind of connect with us and say, hey, we've had Crown Care for this long. We just want to see what's going on. And they wanted some metrics as to how often they used.
How much they were using it.
Yeah, because obviously, people assume it's just kind of like an insurance policy that they never use.
Right.
Which, I mean, hopefully you don't have to use it. Hopefully
Right.
you don't. Hopefully your equipment keeps going and nothing bad happens, but we're there in case it goes wrong.
Right.
But how many times did our one client, and how many months?
So they had been in since December. This client had been in since December. So it's been almost 6 months.
6 months.
They had generated 128 tickets.
Right.
And they were wondering if they were like utilizing it and taking advantage of everything. So we kind of went over that and make sure they understood,
Right.
all the features they have with it. And then they were just kind of wondering if they were actually using it enough, that it made sense for them.
Right.
So yeah, like 128 tickets. It was, that's like 20 tickets a month.
That's crazy.
And they were using it probably 2 to 3 times a month on Sunday mornings, which is
Right.
the big one, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was kind of a good. It's a pretty good exercise just to kind of go through it and see it, and then present that and show it to them.
Right.
So yeah, it seems to be doing what it's supposed to be doing.
Right.
Now, some of those tickets are kind of emergency tickets that file when their network may go offline in the middle of the night and they don't even know about it. And we get a ticket and they don't even know about it.
Right.
But we monitor it and fix whatever we need
Right.
to, and they might not even know.
Yeah.
So some of it was that. But yeah, it was.
It's still. It was a ticket, and it was worthy of being checked out.
Right.
Because you never know.
Anytime there's a ticket, something triggered that thing. So something went down.
Hopefully it was just power outage.
Right.
But guess what? We get the ticket.
Right.
We look it up. We look at in real time every piece of equipment, every critical piece in the whole system. Make sure that everything's running. And so if it happens in the middle of the night, we look at it. We make sure it's going, and then we will connect with you and make sure that
You're all good.
it's all working on site.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, it was
there you go.
good exercise, good proof of concept. I mean, it was good for them to see it as well.
Proof is in the pudding.
Yep.
Crown Care, killing it.
Making it happen.
Okay. All right. So today we are going through, like I said, Inspiration Academy, which is a school, kind of like it's a private school, sports, kind of a private.
They did sports. They did
They did production
stuff. They did like video, like movie stuff, like
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they had an actual like movie production company that was kind of partnered with
Right.
with the academy as well.
Right.
And that's kind of how do we get involved? Do you remember?
Yeah. So again, relationships.
Right.
Because of relationships that we had in the past. That relationship goes way back. Ryan Bodie.
Bodie. What's up, Ryan? Shout out Ryan Bodie.
Back in our band days, early on, before we were doing anything real, we shot music videos with Bodie, our band. And so I had known him for a long time, and he had just helped us out when we were youngins doing video stuff. He ended up kind of on staff there, I think, at that school, or he was partnered with them with his video production at the beginning.
I think they acquired his company.
Okay.
That's what I think happened.
So somehow he was tied into this.
Well, they had been working on movies. They had done a couple movies.
Right.
They did.
Bodie.
Bodie did.
Yes.
Click Clack Jack, I think.
Yep.
And then they did Ragamuffin.
That's right. The
Worship Pastor dude.
I can't remember the guy's name. Rich Mullins?
Mullins?
Rich Mullins?
Yeah.
Yeah, that movie. So they did that. That's right.
Yeah, and at that time, it was a happening thing. They were filming, they were doing all this stuff, and then they had the school going, and so they're like, "Hey, we need a place to like edit this stuff, and we have a program here. Let's teach the kids. Let's do all these things."
That's right. It's going to be like a double usage thing.
Right.
keep on trying to do these kind of Christian faith-based films, short stories, short films and stuff like that. And then, the kids at the school are going to be able to use this legit studio, this production room to learn the technology, learn how to edit and that kind of thing. So they looked into doing a studio like that and didn't even know who to call or what. And because just to connect, I guess Ryan called us, or Bodie called us.
Right.
And said, hey, do you guys do studio stuff? And we're like, sure, we do studio stuff.
We build a studio every week. What are you talking about?
Nonstop. So we had a bunch of meetings with them. Mm-hmm. This was early on for us.
Yeah, I remember having those early meetings like, so what do you want to do? You want to do a post-production suite? And then like the real question was like, how legit do you want this?
Right,
Like,
because the way they were talking was they want to continue to do these movies, which weren't giant movies, but they were like, I mean, they were real movies.
Yeah, they
you
had
know, that
big
were
budgets and
yeah,
you know,
they were in like select theaters and stuff. Like it was
right.
So they wanted to do something legit, and it was. I remember.
Well, the first conversations were like, what do we need? Like a couple Bose speakers or something like that. And I'm like, okay, wait 1 second.
Right.
So we're talking like studio editing, right? Like something you're going to use for your movies and everything, right? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, well, I think you're in a different world. You're not in the Bose world. We got to get you into a different world.
Yeah. Pro level, pro grade stuff.
They didn't know what that meant.
Right.
And so we came to the rescue. Crown came to the rescue.
They knew they wanted something, but they just didn't really understand what that meant. And so through a number of meetings, we kept putting stuff together. And
right. They wanted to use Pro Tools. They wanted a desk. They wanted the room to be acoustically sound.
Yep.
They wanted, I forget what kind of monitoring they wanted, but they wanted it to be legit. I don't know if we probably sold them on the 7.2. Like, hey, if you're ever going to mix like that, like you're ready to go.
Right.
They wanted 4K editing. That was the
big thing. This didn't exist then. I mean, it existed, but barely, and it was crazy expensive to do that stuff.
Yeah, we'll show you. We'll show you all. Probably the most expensive 4K TV ever bought.
I remember buying it. I mean, it was
before 4K. It was essentially before 4K.
Yeah.
Actually, the first time I saw 4K was at Infocom. Isn't that kind of funny? And I remember seeing it, but the 4K displays at the time were only like this big. But even then, looking at it, it looked like looking into a little window.
Right.
Like it looked so much better.
Could tell. You were like, all right, this is a good innovation here.
Yeah,
this is worth it.
It was like,
obviously, it took over the world now. So.
We're doing it. We're doing 4K. Yeah. So we got connected with the school, got connected with Bodie, chatted through some stuff, and we started to design it. And we're like, yeah, we got this they gave us a room. So they had a room in mind.
Yep.
We had the dimensions, and we're like, okay, here we go. Let's create a post-production edit suite.
Yep.
I've got some pictures. Yeah. And some video.
One thing is how crazy this job came to not happening.
Yeah, what's that?
We got deep into the design, quotes, making these relationships with like buying these speakers, all this stuff that happened. Mm-hmm. And then it came down to like money had to be moved. Money had to be exchanged to start buying stuff. And
we didn't do this one for free?
Right. This was not a freebie. All of a sudden the money was real. And
we didn't just pay for all this out of our own pockets just for fun?
Just to have the pictures?
For the clout? Oh, these pictures are worth it, trust me.
But I remember over the last couple days talking to Bodie, he wasn't sure it was going to go through.
All right, let's get into that after.
Wasn't sure.
Yeah, at the end.
It happened though.
More coming, people. All right, so let's take a look here. I've got some install pics, and then we can kind of go through and discuss the equipment we use. Honestly, it turned out awesome. So
this was nuts. This was awesome.
Really, really good. All right, cool. All right, well, here we go. So this was in the room.
That's an old school pick stitch right there.
Pick stitch.
There it is.
Heck yeah, dude.
Totally forgot about that until I just saw that picture.
I still got it. So yeah, this is in the room after they painted, and we're kind of doing cabling, and I don't know. This was early social media. What was this on, MySpace?
This was early social media. I mean,
yeah. Here's some speakers. So these are Genelecs. Yep. These are what models are these? I think they're 8040s, right?
8040s, yeah.
Yeah.
For those little guys.
I love Genelec speakers, man.
8050s.
8050s?
Yeah.
I love these speakers.
Yeah.
I love them.
And
every studio I've ever been to that has Genelecs, it's just like it makes it happen.
it sounds amazing, and the setup that we did in this room
Pretty crazy.
was so good.
Yeah, so these sound like accurate, but still musical, if that makes sense. So you can still definitely reference with it. So when you're mixing, you're hearing all the things that you need to change.
Yep.
You're not being colored by it.
Right.
But it still doesn't have like, the famous NS10.
Right.
The harshness of an NS10. Like those speakers don't sound like any other speaker out there. These sound more like musical. Like if you're in an area, I don't know how to say it, but they sound a little bit more musical to my ear at least, so that you can enjoy while you're listening in reference.
Yep.
But you don't feel like you hate your life.
Yeah.
Like an NS10 makes you feel like you hate your life. I get it. You got to make it sound good with those speakers. I get that. But even when you make it sound good, like you can listen to an amazing track on an NS10, you're like, well, it actually doesn't sound that great.
And the mixture of speakers we had in this room
probably
really helped with that too.
Well, we did
our main fronts were bigger speakers.
Right, yeah. So here are these speakers.
So what we used?
Oh my goodness.
So those speakers we used for disregard.
Let me just get in here real quick.
The
oh my goodness.
It's like a caricature.
Yeah, we were listening to this video that I did. It's actually on our YouTube channel, the video that we did for this, and my voice changed too. I don't know if it's all the smoking and drinking. And
right.
Probably not, but
those speakers we used for the sides and for the rears, right? Is that what we use those for? And for the near fields?
Correct. Yep.
So those are the 6. Yeah.
Yep.
So those 8050s we use for the sides, the rears, and the near fields on the desk.
Yep. So here they're in the construction stage. So they had all that conduit below there that we're supposed to use for. I mean, it was a bit of a mess, honestly. But we were working with their builders, and I think they were all in-house builders. Yep. So we're like, all right, thanks for that conduit. And it's like
a snake, whatever they call that.
MC.
Yeah.
Whatever. It worked. This is behind the speakers. We had like a relay on it so you could turn the power on and off. This is old school, man. Yeah,
we mounted like a mounting board.
Yep,
to the
nice
wall,
mounting board.
It looked nice behind the speaker.
Yep.
Had like a black border.
Yeah.
And then we put that Furman. That was Furman was for control as well, for power.
Yeah.
The power on it.
For sequence? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And there it is. And they obviously painted after this.
Looked a lot better after it was painted.
Right. Oh my goodness, here I am again.
Those were the fronts.
Yeah, what are these puppies?
Those were the 1038 CF. That's a.
I'm not even looking at the speaker. I'm looking into the ghost of past Garrett Walker. That's me, by the way.
Yeah. 1038 CF is what that speaker is.
That was me, young and
I mean, what is the date on this?
Full of life as a young AVL integrator.
This is 2014.
2014.
This is 10 years.
Wow.
This is 10 years ago.
Crazy. I haven't changed a bit.
That's what 10 years will do to you.
That's what 10 years of AVL will do to you. Yeah, here's some other pictures of that's an Argosy console.
Yep.
Huge. It's awesome.
Big console.
Right. Okay, so
there it is.
All right, so this is a controller. So they wanted a desk to be able to mix with, which I love. That's the way you want tact,
Yeah.
The mouse, whatever. I mean, it works. Yeah. Automation, but to get your hands and like elbows on stuff and like you're using different feet, getting things going. I mean, that's the way to get a good mix. Analog, baby, but this is not analog. This is digital. So this was Pro Tools.
This was the S6.
S6 console. They're live.
Brand new.
It was brand new when it came out.
Once again, like, I don't know why we always do this to ourselves, but I feel like it's always like we were the first ones in the States to like get something. I feel like we were one of the first in this again.
It's called being a trailblazer. It's what we are.
We seem to do it a lot.
Heck yeah.
I remember at this time in our young careers, We ordered this, and then it showed up on a pallet like that.
Yeah.
And we were like, wait, what?
Yeah, right.
It was in pieces.
Where's the console, Avid?
Yeah.
It's in a million pieces, bro.
That thing had to be built, man. Piece by piece, guts by guts inside. Every card,
There it is.
I mean, yeah.
So the chassis, it took us probably 2 or 3 days to build it.
Yeah.
And we thought we were just going to set it in place,
Right.
run a network cable to it, and be like, cool, let's start mixing.
Yep.
Nope. You got the chassis you got to build. You got to put all the modules in. It is built a la carte. So
Right.
you can build it out whatever size you want. So
Right.
you see these a lot in big post-production studios.
Yep.
And they'll have a desk that's
Huge.
20 feet long.
Yeah. As long as our.
And they'll have 3 or 4 engineers on. One of them's doing like automation for Foley, you know.
Right.
One of them's doing like the dialogue. One of them's doing the score. They're all just like across this huge, massive mouse. That's all
Right.
it is.
Yeah,
it's
pretty
controlling
much.
Pro Tools, the program,
Yep.
but it's just a massive mouse.
Yep.
So that's the chassis. That was a headache, dude. I remember we got my brother in. We got Devin to help us.
Yeah.
Like, dude, hey, come on, help us out for a bit.
Yeah. We weren't expecting the assembly, at least at this extent.
Look at the DeWalt tools in the back. DeWalt hit us up, man. We've been DeWalt users for years. We need a sponsorship.
Should.
Unbelievable. You know how much Makito's on our heels trying to get us to use their tools every day.
Yeah.
And here we are
Constant emails.
being strong for you, DeWalt. You do nothing for us. Makito for life, maybe. I don't know. All right, so yeah, acoustical panels. We kind of did a cool little design in here.
Yep.
Yeah, those were them.
Yeah, we did those bass traps.
Did some bass traps. Yep.
Oh, remember the trash can? Oh, what'd they call it?
Yeah,
the Mac or that?
Yeah, that was the Mac.
They call it. I
Mac
forget what it was called.
Pro.
I think it was the Pro, but they called it something because it was that cylinder.
Yeah, they had the porcelain cylinder for a while.
Yeah.
The trash can.
The trash can. Yeah.
What a horrible idea. What a horrible form factor. This is a Sonnet chassis for it
Yeah, it slid in there.
that tried to make it cool again, but it was a headache, dude.
It was, and it was expensive too.
Yep. So this chassis had a bunch of PCIe cards on the back, I think, and then those are all the interfaces for that computer. But they had a pretty skookum computer already. So they're like,
Right.
hey, we have a computer, we're going to use
Right.
it, but we want to put it in the rack. I'm like, okay, here we go. We also have here the Oppo. So this is their Blu-ray player because they had that 4K, like the first 4K TV ever.
Right.
So this is an early 4K.
It's a true 4K
DVD,
Blu-ray or DVD.
It was Blu-ray or DVD.
Yeah.
And it
racked.
It racked.
Which is
and
a cool thing.
I love that. Yeah. When I next home I build or whatever, if I do a home theater, I'm gonna get that puppy.
Check out Oppo. They're still. I looked at them a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
They're still.
I got a pair of headphones by them too. The Oppo. I forget what they are. They sound really good though. Planar. Love it. But yeah, these Oppos had analog outputs, so we
Right.
could easily put them into our processor because we ended up having a bunch of different scenarios that they can mix in
Yep.
this room, and we'll get to that in a second. Yeah, acoustical panels in the back, getting it all going. That's kind of an install pick. What was that string hanging? I remember that string hanging down there for weeks. I forget what it was going to.
It had something to do with a cable pull for something.
Way right there.
It must not have been us.
Maybe not. So there it is, built out, that console. So it's like a fader bank, and then like a encoder bank, and then a button bank, and then like this control bank, and this transport bank. So it was like you could kind of put it together any way you want, but then you had to put it together.
Right.
It looked cool.
It looked really cool.
I think I've got a Vegas mode thing on it too.
Yep.
Hey, other consoles, get your crap together. Start doing Vegas modes again.
I mean, people love it.
Back in the day, you know how many consoles I bought just because of the Vegas mode?
It's like one of the first things we did when we powered it on.
Like, yeah,
Turn
we
on
finally got
Vegas
the
mode.
console. Let's do Vegas mode. Does Alan Heath have any Vegas mode?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I think Avid's,
They were the ones that did it.
yeah. Get your crap together, people. More acoustical panels. So these are the big boys up front.
Remember the whole mount issue with those?
Oh my goodness.
See, that's a legit custom mount right there that we ended up finding for these speakers. Those speakers were heavy.
This
fronts.
mount was built for these speakers.
Yes,
but we went through
we tried to get
we had a fabricator down in Sarasota
Yeah.
that had a custom car shop. Really nice.
because we couldn't find Genelec did not provide mounts for these speakers was
Right.
the thing.
Right.
They provided them for the smaller ones.
Right.
But we had to hang these on a wall basically, and they were heavy.
Yeah.
And we went the route of using like a custom fabricator guy. And I remember trying to put a speaker on that thing, and it was gonna just fall apart.
Yeah, so we hired this guy, this fabricator, and he took a TV mount
Right, that you could
and articulating TV
Articulate
mount,
to
and then
turn.
he welded these brackets that would interface with the bottom of that speaker.
Right.
And we're like, sweet, yeah, he did it all. He powder coated it. It looked legit.
Right.
We're like, sweet, we got these custom mounts. We put them up, and we put the speaker on it,
It was just like,
and it's like, boing, boing, boing. And we're like, well, that's all right.
Yeah.
Like, that's not what we're looking for. And I remember us getting them up, and like literally just like right away, I was like, this is not going to work.
Yeah.
But we're like, well, maybe we.
I know.
You sit
Trying to
there,
make it
you sit there
happen.
for an hour trying to think through every single possibility before you're like, hey, dude, your brackets suck.
I remember calling and talking to him, and he was like, "No, it's fine. I checked the weight. It'll be fine. It might sag, but it'll be fine." And then we were like, "This is not this
safe.
cannot happen."
No way.
So we went digging.
Well, and then I think someone, and we'll get into who, told us like, oh, why don't you just get the sound anchor one? And we're like, excuse moi? And it was
Yeah, they make a speaker that can hold 150 pounds or something like that.
it was built for that speaker.
Yeah.
They had one out there. I think it was Sound Anchor. They had one. They're like, oh yeah, we'll just use a Sound Anchor one. I'm like, well, yeah, dude. Thanks for letting us know, Genelec. I think it was Genelec that told us that. We're like,
Right.
yeah, dude, thanks for letting us know. And so then we went and got those.
And they were legit.
Yeah.
Steel. Full on steel.
That wouldn't go anywhere. Had like a little angle adjusters. Like
Yep.
it was legit, man.
You could
It
screw
was-
that for the up and down, and then it also could pan left and right.
And that stuff's
Your
heavy
angles.
steel. All that Sound Anchor stuff is heavy steel.
Yep. Oh, it was legit. It was good.
That helps with the sound too.
Right.
You don't want to, some rickety
Flimsy
thing.
thing,
and
yeah.
all those vibrations from the speaker in the box, like transfer through all that stuff. And all of a sudden, if you have a flimsy mount, your mount's connected to your wall. Your wall's going to vibrate too. So now
Right.
you have phasing and whatever. So it's kind of worth it.
Yep.
That's a soldering iron, and that's an XLR in cut into a box. Everyone,
Yep.
just so you know.
So it holds it for you nice.
That's right. You know that picture? You know the famous picture of the woman holding the soldering iron? Like, it's like a, come and learn at our school about technical
yeah.
things, and she's holding the hot part.
Right. Holding the
Should have done that.
probe or whatever.
Yep. This is a picture of some of the routing. We used Symmetrics on this project.
Yep.
So this is it's before QSYS was
Yep.
like the thing to do. So Symmetrics was, and apparently I was talking to the Symmetrics guy the other day. They have a whole new software and a
Right.
whole new thing, and it's way more user friendly. This Symmetrics stuff that we used was very capable, but it was not user friendly.
Right.
Oh my goodness! It was rough. It was
Right.
rough to figure it out. The routing and all this and the processing that stuff's pretty standard, but the touchscreen stuff, man. Oh my goodness! Thank you, QSYS.
Right.
This touchscreen stuff took me forever, but that's some routing. So we took all these different inputs. We took like the Blu-ray inputs. You're going to see here we have a bunch of Pro Tools interface stuff that all got in there.
Yep.
Playback. There's a bunch of stuff that went into this processor so that we could give them different types of mixing.
Right. The one and only.
Here we go, guys. Mr. Mike Chafee in the
Legend.
house. Living legend.
Legendary ears.
Rest in peace. So this was pretty huge. We got connected with Mike Chafee because he was the Genelec rep.
He was the Genelec rep for the area.
And we knew we wanted to do Genelec because they were my favorite. And we're like, this studio's got to be legit. Let's do it.
Right.
And so we got connected with Mike, and in that process got to know him. And then like went to his place and hung out with them. Yep. And he was a legit audio savant.
This guy travels the country and probably different parts of the world just to sit in studios and tune them.
Yeah,
like that's what he does with his ears. By the way, I mean he looks at the tech and stuff too.
Yeah, he had an analyzer, but it's his ear.
It's his ear. So, he talked about doing like a Disney Studios, doing ESPN stuff. These companies would fly him out to come tune their rooms.
Right.
And we luckily got tied up with him. And then he was so pumped that we were doing this room and using Genelec and all these really cool speakers. And
right.
And so obviously we used him. He wanted to come tune the room.
Oh yeah.
He wanted to be a part of it. And it was really fun to watch. It's fun to watch somebody like that.
Yeah, I forget how many pictures I have in here. I didn't see any video.
Oh, there's
Ben, I didn't see it. You didn't. I didn't get it from you. Do you have it?
Yeah. Oh, it's on my.
Okay, let me see here real quick. Sorry, people.
We got to try to find a video.
Okay.
But.
Yeah, I didn't get any videos from you. Oh wait.
It's probably only one.
This one?
Nope.
No.
It's in there. I think it might be. It might show one of like the thumbnail might be like one of our heads. I feel like.
Oh man.
It's gonna be worth finding if you can find it.
That's the only one I got.
I gotta try to get it to you then.
What's on your phone? All right, press pause. And we're back, and guess what? It is very worth it. The break was worth it. We found the video, and it's better than I remember. Okay, so
should we set the scene?
Yeah, so Mike Chafee, he's designed all these studios. He's legit.
Yep.
He's got an ear for this stuff. His whole life is audio, and he helped us design this studio and build it out and do all this stuff, and then. We had him out to tune the room. So when you tune the room, you listen through all the speakers, make sure that they're all in phase, make sure they're all time aligned. And then also you're taking out the room. So you're getting rid of any frequencies that the room is amplifying or taking away. And so you're trying to get the room as flat as possible so that this is actually different than like a musical room. Yeah, we get it flat for a venue, but then it needs to be musical as well. This is like absolute flatness.
Right.
So we wanted to just beep, and that way their reference was true.
Right.
So we had Mike, the man himself, come out.
He spent a couple days there, like a day and a half, and it was him sitting in a chair or standing, and he would ask us to play a little reference that he had, some kind of music, whatever it was. He'd play it.
Yep.
And he'd just stand there. He would not move. He would just stand and just sit there and stare into the abyss, and then he would go like this. And so we'd push stop on the music, and then he'd say, front left speaker, 1 millisecond up, and also do the, this frequency down one. I mean, the most minute, and then you go in symmetrics and like make these tiny little changes.
It'd be like 420, bring down 421 hertz by 0.5 dB at 3 EQ.
So it's the EQs, it was the timing, it was all this stuff. And then you'd make the changes, hit return, and you'd go like this. And you'd go, push play. This, music would start, and you'd just be sitting there, and then you'd go. And you'd push stop, and you'd look over and be like, all right, make these changes. And it was that for a whole day.
Right.
And it was that for like another half day.
Wow.
It just, forever. Every speaker in the room, over and over and over. Every reference, like, it seemed so minute that it's crazy that he could hear that kind of changing.
Yeah.
But, that's what he would do.
Yep.
And that's how the tuning process worked for those hours and hours and hours.
Okay, so we have a video here of Mike in his happy place.
Right.
And he's tuning the system, and you're going to probably hear this through my microphone, but the music, his reference tunes were awesome.
Yeah.
I picked up one from him. I picked up an Alice in Chains song that he used.
Yep.
But I didn't pick this one up.
Yeah. He had some weird ones.
This one was beyond me.
Yeah.
But
obviously listening to something in that.
So it's not going to sound good through the mic, but you'll be able to hear it and get the idea. Okay. So, all right, listen to this. Oh. We were weirded out, but this is a master in his element.
That's what he's listening for.
There we go. Yeah. Listen for those low mids.
Now he's telling you.
Yeah. Cool.
That's what it was. He would have a certain little part in each song that he was listening for some specific frequency or something.
Right. Yeah.
That he wanted to hear.
That's the whole idea. That's what I do too. Is like, you have a song. You're like, okay, this song, I got to hear all those notes.
Right. You got to hear. You're waiting for the snare on this song, or the piano on this song, or the vocal on this song, whatever. So
at one point he's tuning the room, and it's now in.
It's full on.
It's there now.
Yeah.
It's sounding unbelievable.
And even at that point where we weren't doing speaker to speaker anymore, it was playing a reference for the whole room, and he would crank it, and he would do the same thing. He'd listen to it as a whole,
right,
and do the whole stop, make a change, and it was that for hours again. And we're just sitting there. And I can remember, I won't say the whole thing yet, but this has been hours and hours and hours of this.
Go ahead.
So we're playing the song, and I'm sitting there waiting for him to tell us to stop. So I'm just waiting and waiting. And then I'm realizing the music had continued, and like he hadn't given the stop signal yet. And it had been long enough to where I was like, what's going on? And I look up, and there he was, just like in the video, standing there. But he was crying. He was literally crying.
Sounded too good.
Because of the sound in that room.
Right.
Like, that's what it brought him to.
Yeah. He got emotional.
I mean, yeah. And I remember, I didn't know what to do. I just sat there.
You put your arm around him?
Yeah. Went and hugged him. I just sat there and I just let it happen. I let the song play out.
Right.
And he played the whole song out.
Right.
And then he was just so, overjoyed. He was so proud of the room and the sound that was in there. Like, it was pretty crazy.
It is an emotional experience. So,
I mean,
for most people are listening to music on their phones or through some stupid little Bluetooth thing. There's a different world that a lot of people don't even know about.
Oh, most people don't know about it.
They don't know about the hi-fi, the world of studios, large venue PAs. These speakers, they can pull emotion out of you because you were hearing things and you were hearing music. You were hearing emotion from musicians through these speakers that you didn't hear before.
Yeah.
You're hearing things. You're hearing things from songs you thought you knew your whole life, and you're hearing them for the first time. Right.
It's unfortunate that not many people get to experience that.
Yeah,
and they wear earbuds and whatever. I mean, I have them too, so
I know
it's just is the world, but
it's convenience.
Yeah, we got to do this room and experience that way. Now we get to do huge PAs too, and that you can get the same vibe from a giant room PA that sounds really good too. Right. Same thing,
right?
But yeah, this was so confined and so I don't know. It was a special room,
right?
Because of how it was put together, and then having somebody like him come in and tune it,
right,
was nuts. And then it was a pretty crazy experience.
It was at the time, and still I can still remember it. It was one of the best sounding rooms I've ever sat in. It sounded so clear and so concise and so powerful, and the room was out of the way. It was just pure sound in your face, no hiding of anything. Right. And if you listen to well recorded, mixed, mastered tracks, it was like being in a mastering room. It just sounded amazing.
Yeah.
And I get it. I get why he cried.
Yeah.
I get it. It is an emotional experience. people don't understand it anymore. There's like a glory day of like 80s, 90s, the hi-fi days,
Right.
where like, we're still tape or cassettes or whatever they were, 8-track,
Yep.
vinyl, and people wanted it to sound really good.
Right.
And so they invested a lot into this stuff. And then nowadays, mixing and mastering, and it's become a lot easier in a way. Some things don't sound as good. Some things sound amazing.
Right.
We're kind of in a weird world right now. People don't understand. People don't understand yet that it's worth it. It's worth it to mix and master correctly, and then to listen to it on an amazing PA or studio.
That's the big missing link, is the listening part.
Yeah, big missing. Everyone's putting headphones on, and those are getting better too. But moving air in a room. That's how we listen. I mean, we're not even wearing headphones right now because we just want to talk like this.
Right.
But yeah, it's a thing, man.
Well, that's why people like going to the movies. That whole experience of, just that. If you go to a good theater and have good sound, how much better that is versus watching a movie on your laptop somewhere.
Absolutely.
Like, that's the difference. So this was it. I mean, I'm sure it's not as good as it gets, but it was pretty amazing sound.
Yep.
I remember we would just sit in there and listen to music. We would put a movie on that had really good sound.
We watched Gravity.
Features.
Gravity,
that's right.
That was our reference Blu-ray.
Because it had some crazy audio stuff in that movie.
If you haven't watched Gravity, spoiler alert, you should have. It was out 10 years ago. Sandra Bullock in her prime. Come on, people.
That's right.
Get your heart right. Watch some Gravity. That movie starts with like this crazy symphony of like I don't know. It's like it gets super loud, and then it goes
like a vacuum.
Because all of a sudden you're in space.
And
no one can hear you scream in space. And then there's a lot of really good audio on that, because what you're hearing is the air inside of their suits vibrating, and that's all you hear, because outside is a vacuum. There's no audio. There's no sound in space.
Right.
That's why I don't go there, because I like sound. I like hearing things. People, I'm never going to space because you can't hear in space. So what you're hearing, like even I remember in those opening clips, they have like a drill, and what you're hearing is just the air inside their head, with the vibrations of that thing. Is like,
they did a really good job with that. All that,
and then there's explosions. There's explosions and stuff happening. Like the satellites, but you don't hear anything, Because there's no sound, You just hear screaming.
It was a good video to watch.
It was good. Yeah, so I've got some pictures here of the final product.
Yeah,
and also a video that we can quickly walk through. I'm going to be late for my next thing. I should text him yet? Let me do a quick text.
Oh yeah, we got a couple minutes.
Here, why don't you talk about this, Ben, while I do a quick text?
Oh, okay. So here we go. We had an audience here. Now this was opening day basically for this studio. We had been there for I think a couple of weeks. This was back in the day where we were still working full time at the church. So every day after work, we would drive over to this school and work until 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning to make this studio happen. We'd been there for a couple weeks. This was the day that we got to show people the finished studio. So like the people that were involved with the money there, the financing, all of the teachers. There's Mike Chafee down there in the bottom left corner, and his friend in the blue shirt. I can't remember who he was, but he was somebody that was big time in this studio world too. He brought him out to show him this room.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I can't remember who he was from.
Yeah, Mike was here, right?
That's him in the bottom left corner right there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there he is. Yeah.
And then the guy with the blue shirt right there beside him, it was his friend in the business.
Yeah, we brought out some of his other buddies too.
He did, at a different time.
Yeah.
And so this was us showing them the studio for the first time ever. It was kind of hectic because we wanted it to go well.
Yeah, we're doing the demos.
I'm pretty sure we played Gravity, the movie.
I think so too.
And showed them that opening clip.
Yeah.
And then turned it up really loud, obviously, and
Heck
let them hear everything and see the TV.
Yep. Yeah, let's take a look.
Yeah, that's them.
Go through a couple more pictures here. We can go to the video real quick.
There's the TV.
Yeah, so this is the final product. So this is left, center, right of Genelec. What's the model of those again?
The 1038 CF. 1038 CF.
Yep. And then we had 2 subs on the floor.
Yep, the 70s.
I remember moving those together and apart by like 6 inches, and little by little with Mike. He's like, all right,
spread them another inch. Spread them another inch.
Trying to get that power alley in the right spot. Learn a lot from that. And then you can see the TV there. What was that TV? It was an LG?
It was an LG, I think, and it was
an 85-inch
4K, true 4K TV.
It was the biggest 4K on the market.
Yep. And this was 10 years ago. This
10 years ago.
Basically didn't exist in the consumer line.
Right.
And this was one of the first ones. It was very expensive.
Yeah, how much was it?
I feel like it was like 10 grand or something like that.
It probably was.
Or maybe even more. It was very expensive, but at the time it was like, that's what you paid if you wanted a big 4K TV.
And we had to figure out 4K transmission from their desk to there. So there was only a couple 4K Extron units or something like that we had to use.
Yep. It didn't exist on the market.
Right. So it was very difficult to put that together for proper editing. But
we had tons of people come to that room to look at that TV.
Right.
And we're like, look at the speakers, man.
I know.
Everyone wanted to come see the TV.
They just want to look at the TV. So yeah. So we had those the 2 near field 8050s.
Yep.
Were those 8050s or were those a little smaller? Maybe they were the 8040s?
But we don't have them on the list.
I think
we have 6 of the 8050s, unless maybe we just got smaller ones at some point. I feel like they were smaller too.
Right. But yeah, those are my choice. I'll take those for my reference anytime. I love those speakers, man. They sound so good. There's that big old puppy again on the
left, center, right speakers there.
The TVs looked so good. Subs sounded great.
Subs were so good too.
Yeah. Those are all the items racked. Cool artsy. We got that light from Telly, right?
That's right. Yeah. It's like a gift.
Really cool modern light we put in there. Updog Studios put their branding everywhere. Oh, this is cool. This is their reference controller. So this is their monitor controller. This is the Grace M906. These things are legit. These are the real deal. If you want to get real reference control, this is it.
Yep.
They're super high quality built, and they've got true Dolby down mixes, like to 2.0. They've got all these bells and whistles. You can solo any channel. You can add in sub, take out. Like, it's just a really intuitive volume controller. Yep. Really, that's what it is. But it's got all these other solos and mutes and a bunch of stuff. It worked out really well. So that's in line before any sound goes to any speaker. This was the touchscreen of death that I put together. with some what's the company? Symmetrics.
Yep.
And so here is a monitoring page. And I'll show you this in the video, but there's that puppy again. Ooh, sounds so good. I can hear it through the screen, how good it sounds. Isn't that amazing? Look clean. You can see the side and rear speakers for surround monitoring and mixing. And there it is. And there's us.
Look at us youngins.
Sexy young people. Let's look at the video real quick. There we go. So YouTube, it's an inception of YouTube going on right here. So we're watching YouTube on YouTube for YouTube through YouTube.
How does that happen? How does that work?
Yeah, I'm not going to have any volume though. I'm just going to kind of stop and pause.
Hey, what's up? It's Garrett from Crown Design.
Well,
and we are here.
Yeah, my voice changed. I'm telling you. That's what's wrong with me. Look at this video, dude. The shaky cam. But yeah, let's take a look. This is that's the whole studio, man. I'll pause it in little spots and I can show you some stuff.
Whoa.
This is you, Ben, on camera? Yeah. How dare you?
I'm trying to think, what would I have been recording on right now 10 years ago?
Potato phone.
Who knows?
I don't know. That was that our first Crown shirt? Was that 1.0?
That's 1.0, yeah.
Dang.
This was early, man. I'm telling you, this was early in the day. This is 2014. This is a year in.
Man, you know what's so weird? We got the 3/4 tee stuff. I had 3/4 tees with the company I worked with up in Vancouver, and we had them so that we'd cover tattoos. So this is back. I mean, how crazy? I mean, our generation does not care about tattoos.
Oh yeah,
but the generation before us cared about tattoos
big time.
And so this is 10 years ago. Weird. We had those shirts made because I was used to wearing them. from doing installs. But we had those on so that we'd cover up tattoos. How the times change.
It's changed a lot, but it is true. 'Cause I remember when I first got a tattoo, it was like the biggest, like people were flipping out, dude.
My mom freaked out. Love you, Mom.
Yeah, my parents actually, yeah, they kind of did, but they got over it pretty quick. But yeah, I remember getting them and I remember the tattoo guy, when I did them on maybe down on my forearms or something, I remember him saying, well, the only thing you're ever going to be able to do is construction now.
He said that?
Start. That was even their mentality, though.
What do you say with the skull?
Yeah.
Well, you're going to be...
at that point, it didn't matter.
You're going to hell.
I was so far gone at that point.
Well, Ben, hope you like the devil, because you're going to hell.
Yeah, crazy. I mean, it wasn't that long ago
I know.
when I first got my first one, but yeah, it was...
It was definitely a generational thing.
Yeah.
But that's funny. So that's why we had our 1.0 was 3/4 T to hide our tattoos. So silly. So over here you can see the Pro Tools computer and all the equipment that we had in there. Let me pause it here. So we had, oh my goodness, this camera. There's a hard drive here. Some Symmetrics interfacing, and then our Pro Tools rig. So our interface and our I/O for Pro Tools. I forget what version of Pro Tools. They've gone through so many different versions by now. I think this was like HDX or something. I can't remember.
HDX. It's on our quote. Pro Tools HDX. Yep.
That's right. That's what I told you. I know. I just said that.
I confirmed.
Yeah, and then really good sound. That's what I'm saying right there. I'm pointing at it and so that's where the sound comes from. Yep, that's where the good sound comes from.
Symmetric, yeah, the radius. Symmetrics radius.
Yeah, they had a bunch of different types of I/O and everything. Got some, yeah. So we set their DAW up for like playback, recording, different types of things. They had a bunch of different templates to start from. Over here, now we get to the speakers. So yeah, Genelec 7.2 surround. And then 7.2 plus the 2 reference. 8050s, yeah.
Yep, there they are.
Here. So I was wrong or right again, I don't know. Here are the side surrounds. And then we'll show the rear surrounds. Look at my hair. Oh my goodness. A lot more hair back then. Here's the S6. I don't know if I like those consoles, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
I like their old stuff. I don't know. Maybe I'm too old now.
They kind of price themselves out too.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Look at that though. That's cool. You know,
They do have cool stuff.
3D mixing. So this touchscreen here, I had a bunch of different types of, control here, and you could do a Pro Tools post or music or Blu-ray. You could do a simulated surround. We set this thing up
That was cool.
and programmed it so that you could listen to a 2.0 track, but with simulated surround. And what it did was it had proper delay to all the speakers,
Right.
and then added like the smallest little bit of reverb,
yeah.
like just like barely any.
Right.
It's a fake surround,
Right.
but it just added a little bit of more, made it feel like a different type of room all of a sudden. So it like added a little bit so they could listen to a 2.0 across every single speaker in their room and kind of get a cool effect. It sounded really good.
Yeah, it was cool.
So they could cut in between 2.0 or simulated surround, had all their sources there. I mean, this took forever on Symmetrics, I'm telling you. And when we got into this game with this thing, Mike was like, "Oh yeah, you can do all that stuff. It's super easy." I'm like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, "Oh well, yeah, I want to do a touch screen. I want to have all these things." And he's like, "Oh yeah, it's easy." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So we got into it, and it was not easy.
Never is.
It never is. It was a lot of programming, man. But look at that. Double touch? Or no, it was already in that mode. That stuff took forever, dude. I'm telling you. So I had monitoring across every output, master volume control, a bunch of cool stuff, man. Like this is early control stuff. It was like either Crestron or Symmetrics at the time, and
Right.
we were rocking and rolling Symmetrics. That's the monitor controller again. think I'm talking. I don't know what I'm talking about there, but I'm talking about something cool. Yeah. So in this part of the rack, you've got more Symmetrics I/O, the 4K distribution, and then the Grace rack unit.
Yep.
So that monitor controller comes with a rack unit that has all the I/O on it, and then a proprietary cable that pops off of it for that controller.
Yeah.
I like that stuff, man. It's if you're gonna do it right, you got to do it right everywhere.
Right.
And if you're gonna put your sound through something, like if you're gonna put your sound through a controller and you want it to sound amazing, it's got to all sound amazing.
Right.
We did like Gotham cabling.
Yes, that's right.
Double shielded Gotham signal cabling.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
Getting that stuff too.
So much money on that cabling. Just to make sure that every component through all of signal flow was legit.
Mike was giving us those. He was giving us those.
Yeah, it was he's like,
you got to go Gotham Cable and call this guy. He's like, he's got stuff in his basement. Like
he pretty much said he would not work with us unless we did Gotham Cable.
Right.
Studio cable. So, yeah, that was putting different sources. So that was a 4K switcher.
Yeah.
This stuff did not just happen, people. This is cutting edge, trailblazing stuff here. And you can see here the TV. There it is. Sandra Bullock. She made this movie for this studio for us, for reference, FYI. So, yeah, so that's the studio. It sounded so good. It turned out so good. Okay, so then to bookend this whole project, one day, this is a couple years later.
Yeah.
A couple years later. Okay, well,
we find out.
First, we launched this thing.
Right.
And literally the day that we launch it, essentially, the guy that's overseeing this program comes up to us and says, I'm fired.
I guess we're not making movies anymore.
I'm moving. I'm out of here. Yeah, he goes, I guess we're not making movies anymore.
We're like,
thank God we're done and we're going to get our check.
I know. On opening day, it's already over.
Yeah. And they closed down.
I know.
They closed down their production company or something. I don't know what happened, but they weren't going to be using it the same. And then whatever program they had at the school, I don't know what they did. It was like literally the day we're showing it off. And I was like, oh my, why do we do this then? But, well, I didn't really care. I'm like, well, we did it.
Yeah.
You wanted us to do it. It's legit. You can do whatever you want with it now.
Right.
But unfortunately,
it's unfortunate that you can't go there and listen to it.
Yeah. I guess they used it for a little bit. I remember there was a church beside them that came and used it for mixing. I went and did some work for them. They entered
oh, that's right.
They entered something into
like a contest, like a commercial contest.
Commercial contest.
Like
so I went out there and I got to mix on it and I did some post-production mixing for them.
Yeah, I think they used it for a couple years. It turned into more of like...
They weren't doing the movies anymore.
No, but it was like a lab for their kids, for the students.
Right.
So they got to go in there and like use the studio.
Right.
This legit studio.
But then a couple more years went by. I don't even know if the school exists anymore, honestly.
I don't know either. Yeah.
But
sure.
I remember being on eBay and I'm like, oh, dang, look, these are the same speakers that we put in Updog Studios. And I'm like, oh, dang, look, hey, those are the same subs. I'm like, hey, wait, those are my pictures. Those are the pictures we took. I'm like, hey, someone's using our pictures to sell their speakers on eBay. That's what I said. Like someone stole our pictures from our website and they're using it to sell the speakers on eBay. And then I look and they're selling the speakers on eBay. The school was selling the speakers on eBay.
Yep.
They had dissolved or something and they're getting rid of it. It's unfortunate, man, because it sounded so good and it was such a great setup.
Yeah.
But you can't control it.
It lived. It happened. It lived for a while.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
It was. And, Mike Chafee taught us a lot. It was amazing to work with him. Rest in peace. Passed away. He was fighting Parkinson's for years.
Yep.
He was a really big guy in the audiophile networking down here in Bradenton, Sarasota. He was part of the audiophile group and all that stuff. And he was renowned. Everyone loved him. He was a great engineer and really he dedicated his life to making things sound better, which which I believe in. I think it's a great thing. So what a great opportunity to work with Mike on this stuff and to have him cry in the room. And he said that this room was what, a 9.5 out of 10?
Yeah.
And he said it was a 9.5 out of 10 because it's not in his house.
Yeah. He loved this room. He brought, we did multiple tours with other people after the fact with this, that he had clients from different countries even that would come to the United States looking to do a big Genelec room.
Right.
And he would take them to this studio.
Mm-hmm.
So he loved it.
Yeah. I loved it too. I wish it was
have.
still there, man.
Yeah. It's a bit of a shame.
It is. I know. But that's the way the cookie crumbles.
It happened.
We got paid and walked away.
It's true. I mean, I guess worse things could have happened. They could have not paid us.
Right.
But that wasn't the case.
No. No. So it turned out great. And it was a great project to kind of learn on. And once again, being with Mike and, gaining that knowledge while he was here was amazing. I would love to do another one of these rooms. Hey, if y'all out there, you want a studio, a legit studio.
Who wants to do a studio?
Yeah. We do a lot of control rooms
Right.
for like broadcast mixing.
Yep.
And sometimes they want to,
They're studio-ish.
yeah, studio-ish. We designed and we're going to be doing a studio for one of our clients. Well, it's a broadcast mix again, but
Right.
a bunch of studio gear, bunch of outboard gear.
Yep.
Some cool outboard gear.
Yep.
What else are we doing for that? SSL controllers, cool microphones.
Yeah.
And then
That'll be
it'll be cool. It'll be cool.
But it's not this.
It's not this.
It's not like you're going to sit in there and just be amazed by the sound and that kind of thing.
Right. Yeah.
So
Well,
let's do one.
yeah, call us up. But yeah, that's about it. That's our studio, our 7.2 Genelec studio at Updog Studios,
Yep.
or whatever they are now.
Who knows? Rest in peace, the studio as well.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, that's it. Hope you all liked it. Anything else you want to say?
No.
We are the best AVL integration company that my mother knows of. And we are ready to help you with anything you need. So we are in Bradenton, Sarasota. We are the premier AVL integration company in the area in Florida. We work all over the place. We work all over the states. If you need anything, if you need design, if you need just gear, we'll give you a dirty deal. If you need install, networking, we're in it all, man. We figured it out. We'll do it the best. And then also if you have any issues,
CROWNCARE.help.
yeah,
Your best place to go for help for your AVL needs, especially on the weekends. You churches out there that need help because your pro presenter dies or whatever, give us a call. Actually, go to CROWNCARE.help. We will give you a call back,
Right.
and we'll fix your stuff. So,
yep, inside a half hour.
yeah, we'll make it happen.
Yep, awesome. Well, let's move on, and next week we'll do another podcast. We'll figure it out. It'll be a cool project or something, and maybe we'll talk about, I don't know, ending the Fed and taxation is that. I don't know.
Politics.
Well, let's just get into it. Bidenomics, let's do it.
I'm down.
Okay. All right. Peace, y'all.
See ya.